Hi, my name is Tanya Lipprand. I am a soul soldier for Lupus. The reason I started Marlene's Kaleidoscope is because I've been having lupus for over 30 years. And when I first got diagnosed, the same thing is going on now. Basically, the education wasn't there, the awareness wasn't there. And that didn't make sense to me. And I know the struggles that I went through. I've seen approximately anywhere from 6 to 10 doctors. When I was first started getting sick and feeling sick, no one could help me out. There was no one knew what was going on. They kept telling me I was a hypochondriac, that I couldn't hurt, my body wasn't going through what it was going through. I eventually found a doctor that actually worked with me, and she actually went to a seminar, and this was back in the 90s, and she came back home and says, hey, I think I know what's wrong with you. She put me in the hospital for a week doing a whole bunch of testing. After about a week of testing, she came in there, and basically she was her, and I think to me and my eyesight, I think I've seen about 30 doctors, but I know it's probably about 4 or 5. She told me she figured out what was wrong with me. The look in her face was devastating, and so first thing came to mind, I thought I had cancer. And I was okay with that because I was going through cancer with my mom. I'm like, this is something we can really go together, through together. And she sat on my bed and she says, no, it's not cancer. I was like, okay. And she said, in my opinion, it's worse than cancer because there's no cure. And it's attacking every part of your body. Another gentleman sat down and he started telling me what lupus was. And still I'm looking like I'm still not understanding. Can I just have some medicine and make this work? And he told me I had lupus, and basically my body was fighting itself. My immune system is overacting and it's fighting itself like I have an infection. So I said, so what does that mean for me? And the reason I asked that question is I just had my son. And he was like, well, your lungs are shutting down, your kidneys are shutting down, you're having heart complications, you're going all this. And basically, if we can't stop it, we're giving you about 3 years. And that was a little devastating to me, a lot devastating actually, because I still didn't understand what it was. Started doing research, really wasn't that much out there at the time. So when I got with my doctor, me and her had a plan. And she says, we can get through this. And my thought to her was, I just had a son. I need my son to see me. And I figured at 5 years old, he would remember me. So we start inching up time. Like he turned 5, I was still here. He went to elementary school, I'm still here. We went all the way up to college, and with doing that, there's days I was taking 30-minute pills a day, in the morning and at night. So with that, I know what people were going through, and I'm like, you're still going through the same thing. So with that, I was like, I need to do something. I did contact several different organizations to figure out what they have here in Kansas City, and they felt like lupus was not needed here, or education for lupus was not needed here. And I was like, well, if anyone knows me, know me. If you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna say, let me show you. So I started Marlene's Kaleidoscope. One thing about it, people always ask who is Marlene. I am Marlene. That is my middle name, and actually my nonprofit is actually named by my brother, rest in peace. And Kaleidoscope, which is really special to me because if you look in a dictionary, a large number of butterflies is called a kaleidoscope. And also on top of that, reason we really like the word kaleidoscope, when you look into the kaleidoscope tube, you see all these beautiful colors, shapes, and sizes. And that is how people with lupus is. There's no one person, 2 people are the same. So everyone's different. And so we came up with Marlene's Kaleidoscope. Some of the common misconceptions when it comes to lupus is people are lazy. That people are lazy, that it's not a real thing. Because a lot of times when people have lupus, you don't see it. The favorite words that most of us get to have lupus, you don't look sick. And we don't know what that means. A lot of things, people think that you can catch it, that it's contagious, and that's not true either. Some people think that when it comes to lupus, men can't get it. Men can get it. Even though you look it up and it says it's a woman disease, 90% of people that have lupus are women. And out of that, they're mostly BIPOC. Raising awareness can actually benefit and help is education. And the reason I say education, as I said before, there is no cure for lupus. We do have we have medicine now. When I first got diagnosed, there was actually no one medicine was designated for lupus. But now we're up to 5, which is a blessing. I feel a lot of time African Americans were scared to ask doctors questions. And I tell people all the time, you the one knows your body better than anyone. Ask those questions. Fight for your rights, whatever it looks like. And also another one is, again, African American men, for some reason, they don't want people to know they have lupus. And somewhat I understand, because if you look it up, it is a majority women. And some men are feel some kind of way about it. The impact, our success story, actually I have a good one, it just happened. Had a young lady, mom reached out to me. She was worried about her, and she was like, hey, I heard you talk several times. I think my baby has lupus. No one seems to pay attention. And I was like, really? And she started telling me what's going on, and I was like, well, have she been tested? And they were like, they won't test her. I'm like, what? She's like, which is true. So I was like, well, she says, we've been to the hospital, the emergency room, 3 times this week. I was like, okay. And I told her, I said, when she goes back to the hospital, this is what I want you to say. I want you to tell them, hey, I've been here 3 times, I'm not getting any help. I want my baby, my daughter, tested for lupus. If they tell you no, say, okay, well, can you put that in her chart that you denied her the right to get tested? And she's like, Miss Tanya, she said, that doctor turned around so fast and said, okay, we'll test her. They test her. She has lupus. So, because I kept asking them, what does our urine look like? And people, when I ask people those questions, they kind of look at me like I'm crazy. But that's a big thing. If your urine is cloudy, very yellow, it's warm, things like that you need to look at. And now the fight is, how do we have her live with it and have a good quality of life? How do we make her feel okay that, yeah, you might have this, you might have lupus, but lupus don't have it. By doing what I mean by that, that means you need to educate yourself on every piece, whatever goes on in your body, why is it happening? Because I don't want people to see lupus. I want them to see me.
If you too are a soul soldier who stands tall, visit thesoulofsanta.org to make a donation to the Soul of Santa Do Good Foundation or join our support group.